Good morning, and welcome back to Daily Dhamma, a letter to our children. Today is August 2nd, and our reading is Education Follies. It was once the proud declaration of many educators that we are here to teach you how to think, not what to think. But far too many of our teachers and professors today are teaching their students what to think about everything, from global warming to the new trinity of race, class, and gender. Even if all the conclusions with which they indoctrinate their students were 100% correct, that still would not be equipping students with the mental skills to weigh opposing views for themselves. And that's Thomas Sowell from Dismantling America, and the essay is titled Artificial Stupidity. As moral educators, the Buddha and Ajahn Chah sought to enlighten, not to brainwash. They pointed us in the right direction, but knew they could explain it to us, but could not understand it for us. They encouraged us to take the principles out of their talks and put them into our lives so we might learn through our own experience the true meaning of the Dhamma. But don't take anyone else's word for it. Try it and see for yourself. Thomas Sowell is a national treasure, a World Heritage Site all by himself, and he writes in the same vein as C.S. Lewis and Edmund Burke, and we love him for this. Let's take a look at C.S. Lewis for a second. This is from The Abolition of Man, and he's talking about education, and he says this: the difference between the old and the new education will be an important one. Where the old initiated, the new merely conditions. The old dealt with its pupils as grown birds deal with young birds when they teach them to fly. The new deals with them more as the poultry keeper deals with young birds, making them thus or thus for purposes of which the birds know nothing. In a word, the old was a kind of propagation, men transmitting manhood to men. The new is merely propaganda. Boy, has he got that right. Lewis wrote that in 1943. I'm not sure when Thomas Sowell wrote it, around 2000 maybe. Here's something as well. This is the difference between critical thinking, which is a very important thing for everybody to learn how to do, especially students, young people, as opposed to critical theory. Critical theory, rather than teaching students how to think critically about their culture, critical theory starts with the conclusions already drawn that students live in bad societies, and whoever the teacher is, whatever that subject is, that's a good place to learn how to change them. This is preaching dissension and revolution and cultural revolution and all that kind of stuff. And it's highly questionable whether this is conducive to a civil society or not. We think it is not. So instead of education follies, we need to have education that actually improves the thinking abilities of students and children. We titled this Education Follies. It harkens back to people of a certain age will remember the 5 o'clock follies, which were the daily briefings at the MACV headquarters in Saigon in Vietnam back in the 60s, and the reporters at that time, because they were fed such a diet of nonsense, dubbed these the 5 o'clock follies, and people would show up to listen to what the new spin on old stuff was going to be, and they were seldom burdened with the truth. Let's try not to do that as teachers. So happy trails to you until we meet again.